is me, Zaria, and I am here with my very first K-drama reaction. I'm so used to saying reaction. Review. If you have seen my favorite K-dramas of 2017 video, go check it out. I will put it up there. There it is. But yeah, I said I was going to start doing reviews on the K-dramas that I watch. So before we even get into it, it's gonna be spoilers, massive spoilers, maybe not massive spoilers, but I'm gonna talk about stuff, and it's just gonna, I didn't write any of this down, it's just gonna come off my phone and the top of my head. So if I spill anything, I don't want to ruin it for people. So just, if you haven't seen the drama that I'm going to be watching, which is I Am Not a Robot, which I really enjoy, stop the video now, watch the series, and then come back and holla at your girl so we can talk about it, y'all, so we can talk about it. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. So the drama is called I Am Not a Robot, Anya in Korean, and it is starring Yoo Sung Ho. He plays Kim Min Yoo, Chae So Bin, and she plays Jo Ji-ah. And those two are the main characters. They're the main couple, and I'm gonna read off of the Asian wiki page what it says it's about. I'm gonna sum it up because it's kind of long. Basically, I'll tell you my word. Min Kyu is a big like a shareholder basically of this huge company. His parents died when he was younger in a car accident, and so he took over his father's position. And he's very like flying, he's very like cocky, like he knows he's like really, like he knows he's the basically, but he lives alone in his big old mansion that he lived with his parents because of his allergy to people. So yeah, it's just, he has a lot of backstory that I'll get into kind of, but it's just a lot. The next character though is Jo Ji-ah, and she plays IG3, which is the robot. I don't know, she's like an entrepreneur, like she's an inventor. She has these little she calls them heart balls, and they're basically like heart lamps that look like literally like a heart, and however far they are, if one person touches it, they can see it in the other person. So yeah, that's basically her. She's a robot apparently, but she's not really a robot. Her ex, Hong Baek-young, who was played by Eun Ki-jun, and his team of I don't know, inventors, they create a lifelike robot, and they name her IG3, which is Ji-ah just backwards. And yeah, she dated the professor Baek-young, and they kind of broke up, not on good terms, because he was kind of mean to her sometimes. So he made the robot, but he didn't know he made it without her knowing about it. So one day the Seung-ho's character wants the robot, because like I said, he lives alone, he has no companionship because of his allergy. So they're trying to give him the robot, and it breaks the same day. They go and call my girl Gia and make her put on the robot's outfit and pretend to do it. And this was only supposed to be for like a day or 3 days, a week, like just so they can fix the robot and then ship it off. But yeah, she was only supposed to do this for a couple days, no longer than a week. And when she first meets him, she kind of it doesn't go off so great. She meets him before she's a robot, actually I forgot about that. She goes and buys these, I don't know, like collectible toys, and she accidentally got something on the box, so her customer just happened to be Min Yoo, and when she gives it to him, he notices something on the box, so he doesn't want to pay her, so she thinks he's scamming her, and they get in like an altercation, and she accidentally touches his skin. He wears gloves and he has like a police baton, but she accidentally touches his skin, and he becomes like ill, so he leaves really quick, and she thinks he's scamming him. So when she goes and pretends to be the robot, she sees him, she freaks out, she almost blows her covers, but she doesn't, thankfully. So that happens. The first meeting is hilarious with them. It's really funny. The two actors, they have great chemistry right off the bat, so it's just really funny. But yeah, So she's thinking she's done. She'll never have to see this guy again. She does kind of feel bad for him because she at this point she doesn't really know about his allergy, but she feels bad that he's by himself. But whatever, it's supposed to be over. She's happy. Then she finds out that he's in head of this competition she wants to enter for her heart balls. And she's like, well, maybe I'll just go back. They asked her to come back, and she said no initially, but she's like, maybe I'll just come back because he's the he's the head of the competition. So she goes back, and I don't know, it's just that she starts to like care about him, and she feels bad. She listens to him because, you know, she's the only person around him. I mean, the other scientists can see her because she has like contacts that they can see through as well. That's how she can put up the facade that she's still a robot with the things that it tells her and things like that. But yeah, she starts to feel bad for him. She starts to care for him. One of his long time friends comes to visit him, and she's talking about her father wants them to marry, and he's excited about it because all this time he believed that while she was gone, she was in England, that she was writing him letters and worried about him. So for someone who didn't really have anyone, his parents died, his best friend betrayed him, so he thought, so to have his other friend, the girl, I don't remember her name, she was played by, let's see, Hwang Sung-eun, and her character is Yeriel. And yeah, so when she comes back in the picture, he's excited, but he's never kissed anyone before, so he's super nervous about that. So he asks for help basically from IG3 because she's a robot, she can do anything, right? Long story short, IG3 gets her best friend to help them, so she gets tangled into the mess as well. And they practice, they don't actually kiss or nothing, but so it's time for him to go on the date with the girl. So the professor and IG3, they go along as well because by this time she's figured out that his allergy to people, and she's like she's the cure for it basically. Like whenever he sees her, whenever he's near her, he just miraculously is okay. So she has to tag along on the date, which kind of sucks because now she's kind of into him and he's kind of into her, but it's at the point where they both don't want to admit it, you know. But anyway, they both go on the date, and it gets cut short because Yeriel has to leave, and the professor, it starts to rain. I remember now. It starts to rain, and the professor goes to get it by an umbrella, and he is just with IG3, who he believes is IG3. He still doesn't know that she's a real person at this point, but yeah, he goes with her, and she invented another one of her inventions is an umbrella that is dark cover, and then when you push a button you can make it clear, so it's like see-through. And they have that umbrella, and he was just talking about how much he loved it, and he didn't know that she invented it, obviously, because he thinks she's a robot, but he's talking about how much he loves it, and how whoever invented it is so smart. And that was one thing that she lacked from her past relationship with the professor, is he always kind of put her down. He never really, like, I don't want to say, like, believed in her basically. So when she heard that, it was like really like emotional for her, and she kissed him, which was kind of weird to me, to be honest, because I'm like, girl, I know you like caught up in the moment, I know, I get it, but you are supposed to be a robot. Like, what is he gonna think when a robot kisses? I was just like, okay, that's just a little bit weird. I was just like, that was just one thing that was weird for me, but it was a super sweet moment, and I really did enjoy that. It was cute. It was really cute. Over the next course of it, they're both like starting to figure out that they really do like each other, and it's almost like to the point like where everyone's like, what the heck, like he shouldn't be like liking this, and he's like, what the heck, I'm a robot, like why would I do that? And they start, like I said, they start to realize that they like each other, and he's become like obsessed thinking about her, and he's like, I can't do this, she's a fucking robot. Like, it's just, it's super emotional. And it gets to the point where the professor doesn't want to see them both hurting like this anymore. The team doesn't like it. It just won't work because she's a robot, but she can't tell him that she's not a robot. And it's just a hot mess. So it's a lot of angst going on. I don't want to. Oh, well, I guess I can. Spoiler. Big spoiler alert. Okay, big spoiler. So stop right now. Long story short, the team decides to separate the two. And Mingyu decides to reset IG3 and just to give her up. So he won't have to go through this pain. He won't have to do any of that, things like that. So they just decide to go their separate ways. It's a really emotional scene where he pushes her button, her power button, to reset her, and it's just really sad. So she's officially done being IG3. She's really emotional about it. He's like very obsessive with it. He goes through a point where he changes his mind and he wants her to come back, but now it's the actual robot who he has, and she doesn't know anything that he's talking about. And it's just really sad to see him go through that. It's really sad to see her go through that. So she ends up leaving. She goes to, I don't know where she goes. I think it's her sister-in-law's grandmother. She was best friends with her sister-in-law before in high school, so she knows them. So she goes to stay down there just to help her sister-in-law grandmother like work, because she owns a shop, and she does it just to get away, you know, just not to want to be able to see them, because they're just all too connected. So that time, like I said, he's a very important businessman. He goes back to work. He's okay now. He's cured miraculously somehow, and he has to go on a business trip, and he just so happens to run into her on the train. Well, the robot has long hair. She has short hair initially. So he runs into the train, and he's like, oh my god, that's IG3, like that's my girl right there. And she is like freaking out because she was so distressed by seeing him and hearing about him. So she got away, and she ends up running into him, and it's just crazy. They try to play it off though and just say that she is someone that he just modeled the robot after. She doesn't know anything about you or what your situation is or anything like that. So that's what they tell him, and he believes it for a while. He ends up following her, which was crazy. He followed her to the restaurant. The restaurant is a restaurant in a hotel as one, so he ends up staying the night at the restaurant. While she's working at the restaurant, the owner, the grandmother, has to leave. It has to get something from like a storage building or something like that, and the grandma asks Mingyu to go with her. So they end up going to the storage thing, and they get locked inside, and they have to stay all night. And he's basically just telling her stories about IG3, which she knows all these because it was her. And it's really hard, but she listens and pretends not to know any of it, which really that was one thing about this drama that I didn't get. I mean, like, you're a human, you could just tell him. I know they were worried about his disease coming back because of another case that had happened. It had freaked them out, and he ended up getting his case back and he died. So I understand how they were that, but I just feel like that was so far stretched. Like they really reached to have that type of drama, because there was really nothing stopping them from being together really. But when they were in that storage area, I really feel like she could have told him. I don't know, that would have been the best for me, but it was whatever. So yeah, so it's the next day. They get rescued. The scientists come and they try to take him away, like, you're making her uncomfortable, like that's not cool, she doesn't know you, like come on dude, let's leave. So they all eat before they leave, and he cooks. Like he used to cook when she was the robot, but she can never eat it. So she's like, oh, it's so good to have your cooking, it tastes so good, thank you, since this is the last time we're meeting, I'll eat every bite, things like that. She's just trying to get him to leave, because it's too hard for her, and she can tell it's hard for him. So they're leaving. They leave. She's stressed basically, so she decides she doesn't even want to stay there anymore. So she's getting ready to leave, so she heads out to the pier or whatever, or beach or seaside or whatever. And before you know it, the scientist noticed that he has gone back. So he goes back and he notices that she's not at the restaurant, and he sees her on the pier. And one important thing that I forgot to mention was, when he was resetting her, he has a special necklace that his mother gave him that he put on her while he was resetting her. I don't know why he did it. I think it's just convenient for the storyline, but yeah, that's why. So when he sees her, he's like, oh hey, and she just happens to have the necklace like in her hand, and she's like touching it, and he's like, and he like freaks the fuck out basically. So when he sees her, he freaks out. His disease comes back. He has all the scars and things on his arm and on his body, and he's like unconscious. He gets knocked out, and she freaks out. She runs over to him. Really what happened next is really sad. It's he gets rushed back to the hospital. She's freaking out. He eventually gets better. Not so much better like he's cured better, but it's okay that he's okay to be up and around. But she was really upset that she couldn't explain to him what happened, and so she comes by his house every single day. You know, he doesn't like to eat anyone's cookie but his own, but she still makes him food every single day. She comes every single day, and basically he tells her the same thing every day, like, leave, get out, I never want to see you again, da 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 da. But she's doing this every day, and he loves her basically. So one day she's late because I don't remember what happened. I think she hurt herself riding her little scooter bike or whatever, but she hurts herself, so she's a little late, and he finds himself like waiting for her, like, when is she coming? And he may have been mean when she would have came, but he was like excited to see her. I mean, like I said, he loved her. So she comes, and before she comes though, he finds the envelope that had the contest things, and so he's pissed all over again. He thinks that she was just using him to get to the contest. That's why she stayed the whole time. So it just pisses him off again, and they kind of go at it and they yell at each other, and it's really sad. But I really hated that part, because it's just like, you two know you love each other so much, just get this together. But it was just one of those things. It was hard to watch. But days later, she's still coming. The girl who was helping him be a better kisser, things like that, her best friend, Gia's best friend, she comes by, and because he still has the 2 heart balls that she made, and she comes by and tells her, like, she tells him, like, you need to get over it. She loves you. She's did all this and this and that for you. Like, why would you treat her like this? Da, 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 da. It's just, she just tells him what he needs to hear. Like, he already knows basically. He just didn't want to hear. So she just slaps some sense into him a little bit. So she takes one of the heart balls and she gives it to Gia. And it's the night of, like, what are they called? Shooting stars they had talked about in the past going to see, and it just happened to be one night. So he touches the ball, and the heart ball, so like I said, whenever one person touches it, the other lights up no matter how far you are. So she gets home from arguing, I don't think it was the same day, I don't remember, but she gets home from something and she sees her balls lit up, and I don't know how she knows it, but she just instantly goes to the park or forest, whatever, where the constellation will be seen. So they meet up there, and she tells him everything, and he was like, thank you for telling me this. And he was like, goodbye. And she was like, wait, goodbye? She's like, you just can't leave like that. Like, she's like, I thought we were okay. And he was like, yeah, we're okay. And she's like, well, this, that. And he was like, this. He tells her he doesn't want to drag her into his life. Oh my God. Y'all, he is so cute too. He's like, it'll remain a good memory. Like, thank you for being my first real love. Like, and she's like, you can't leave because it's not like you need me. I need you. And I'm just like, bitch. Tears coming, y'all. Tears are coming. And then we get our very real first kissing scene. And I'll try to insert a clip, or you know what? I have something better. I'll just pull it on my. At this point, we all like woohooing and clapping and screaming like, yes, OTP finally together. It's just great from there. It really is great. The one part that I really didn't talk about that much is the business aspect of this drama, because literally, kill me now, like, that is how dramas ruin things for me. I hate like when they make me like learn like business terms and shit like that. Like, I could care less. Basically, in a nutshell, someone else was trying to take IG3 from them. They were doing illegal crap. They were killing people. Like, it was a whole bunch of shit going on that really didn't have to go on at all for this drama to be good. Yeah, so that's basically what the last of this drama was. The drama had how many episodes? It had 16 episodes, and they make up around episode 14, so really it's only 2 episodes left. So the last 2 episodes are basically them trying to get IG3 back because they don't want to hurt. The scientists had signed over IG3 because they didn't want anyone knowing about his disease, but later Mingyu tells everyone about his disease, so he wants to get IG3 back. They eventually do get her back, which was good, but I mean they change her at the end. And yeah, that's really basically it in a nutshell. He reconciles with his childhood best friend, the guy, and the girl, and then those two end up getting married, I believe, or they're together at least at the end. I don't remember. But yeah, so yeah, that was basically it. Oh, how did I forget? Like, this drama had the best kiss scene I've ever seen in my entire life. Wait for it. Like, hands down the best kissing scene I've ever seen in a drama. Like, it was none of that little oh my god, it was not. No, he was not coming to play games with y'all for that one. But overall, my long recap basically telling everything that happened, my review of it will be, was it the best drama I've ever seen before? Definitely not. On a scale of 10, I would give it like a 7. 7 is good, right? Like, I enjoyed it. I found myself excited to watch the next episode. I catched it right at the end, so I did have to wait for, like, I think 4 episodes. The last 4 episodes I had to wait for, but I binge watched most of it, and I really did enjoy it. It was such a weird concept. I enjoy concepts that's not the normal tropes and dramas. But like I said, the actor, the main actor, he's really fucking fun, like sexy as and the girl, she was really pretty. I was definitely rooting for her the whole time. I know, I just really enjoyed this drama. It was funny, it was fun, it was just a good drama. I enjoyed it a lot. So 7 out of 10 for Zaria's review, first K-drama review. I don't know, I hope to do more of these like this. I enjoy watching K-drama so much. I do it all the time. But you know what's funny? I'm not watching any right now, so if you guys do have any recommendations, you should definitely leave them below for me. But yeah, that was so much fun. I just love talking to you guys. Like, that was fun. On that note, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this video, like, and comment if you want. You can follow me on my Twitter and my Instagram. I will leave those in the description below. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Bye.